What's up, my friends? I was somewhat inspired to make this video based on the fact that I just passed through Pasadena, going back to home, Corona, for a couple days until I go back to the desert and do that spiritual work, do that invoking, do that energy work, and get energy in return for it, get paid for that. My energy that I put out, that I provide for this company, reflects back to me in terms of my pay and all that kind of stuff. But the companies you work for take ownership in it. That's one of the things about reality creation. If you want to create your reality, if you want to be a manifester of your reality and collapse those waves and collapse the waves that you observe as a conscious observer, understanding the laws of creation, the laws of physics, which is the physical laws, and then the laws of metaphysics, the laws that create the effects that you see in the physical world, the unseen laws, the laws of vibration, all kinds of principles that govern those laws, and knowing which ones are mutable, which you can mute them in terms of their effects on you, or the ones that, because you are in this, you cannot go over those laws. You cannot cheat those laws. Yet all the time, we have been dumbed down in our own consciousness in a way that whenever the higher self or God or angels or whatever you want to call it beckons you to a higher frequency of reality of being, in terms of letting go of the illusion and raising your vibration by doing the inner work, by understanding the laws and becoming a manifester of your reality, and shaping your reality to match your higher intent for yourself. Go ahead, buddy. It's been all around you. It's been all around me. The answer has been all around me all my life. It's just I wasn't at the conscious awareness level to focus on those answers through my intuition and to manifest that wave to happen in my life. So you are a conduit for that energy. The physical body is just a manifestation of the mind, and the brain is the central processing unit of all the processes that happen in the body. So when you touch, when you feel something, then these electrical impulses are shot up through your spinal cord to your brain, and and that also, you see it, you smell it, all these things, they're shot into your mind, in your brain, which is connected via the mind. The mind creates the brain. So if your mind is limited in your mind, in your imagination, then your brain mirrors that limitation, and that limitation manifests in your physical reality. So if you don't believe you're worth it, then your mindset will be like, I'm not worth it. Your brain will create that mold with that vibration, I'm not worth it, in various degrees. It's not a process that's overnight. This getting to awareness, getting into that higher state of mind, it's not overnight. It's a process. And there's tipping points in the journey because of the illusion is breaking, and it's being held on by lying to you, then by default, a lot of people are by default kind of waking up to their own patterns. Waking up to their patterns and kind of being lost. And you see atheism is on the rise in America. And, I met an atheist. Works for you, you follow that. But understand that you're the vessel for that energy to come out. So if you're cooking in anger, your anger is going to be manifested in the choices you make of what you're going to eat, how you're going to cook it, what ingredients you're going to add to it. If you're angry, you're just going to cook it really fast. It might burn a little bit. It might be tough. And you're going to eat it, and you're going to be like, oh, shit, this is fucked up food. And, oh, man, why is it? You're eating that, and you're programming the food. And the energy is being utilized for the body, the proteins and the acids. But the higher sense, it's going to feed into that reality of anger or bitterness or guilt. That's why all these spiritual practices, they talk about fasting, and they talk about, not eating meat and all that stuff, which I know I eat meat. I understand that some people might, some people, I'm not saying don't eat meat or eat meat. It's just sometimes you have to go back to nature, go back to the lowest state in terms of just eat vegetables and stuff, and then gradually add meats, and then you'll be eating that in better gratitude, in a higher state of vibration, instead of just feeding your fleshly desires of food, which is not, it's not hungry. It's lacking some kind of high vibration, and it gets it by eating this food because it connects it to a certain feeling it got. But that's identifying with the illusion all the time. It's like when you stop identifying with the illusion and you accept it as it is, it's accepted as a reflection of you, and you see the answer in you too. You see the answer in the illusion also, because you start shifting your awareness that you start imagining better things for yourself, and you keep on imagining that, and on top of that, you imagine in details. The devil is in the details. You details of like, fine, if you're that person that's in the perceived future, which is the now, the future is developed from the now. So that future self exists in the now. So you start being that person in the now, and you pay attention to the details, like what is that person? What time will that person wake up? What kind of speech will come out of that person's mouth? What kind of reflection will this person have? And how is it going to reflect in their reality? And you do that consciously, and then you do that in the now. And then the now becomes the future. It's all in the now, because the future is always the now. And you let go of what you think the future is going to be based on your egos, based on that brain. See, based on your brain, it's based on your mind what the future is, because the mind is limitless. Your mind can be in 5th grade, got made fun of last week. Your mind is pulled in all kinds of directions all the time, and you're not even aware of it. So when you become aware of these kind of things, then you can put your mind state in high, manifest that energy from within, because it's all within. The thing in the external cannot manifest without the internal imagination for that thing to manifest in the first place. You collapse these waves based on your observation. You want to look further in your mind. So to get to the next level, the lower level has to be let go of. It has to be released. To be in a higher state of vibration, you know, to get to the level 10, you have to let go of level 9, but you aren't going to be level 10. You're a conglomeration of all the levels. So I just wanted to talk about that. You become the vessel. You are the water. Is it the Kool-Aid man, the jar, or is it the liquid inside? I saw a meme. It was interesting. It's like, what is the Kool-Aid man? Is it the jar, or is it the water? But what is water? It's just hydrogen, H2O. Hydrogen, two hydrogens and an oxygen electron, or atom, right? At a certain frequency, it's just a crystalline entity that attaches on to different molecules, and it creates, your emotion is in your water. Water is emotion, right? But water is inside a vessel, which is earth, the structure, right? And it's all the elements combined: oxygen, air, the air, the ethers. It's a alchemy, and it's a science. And you're the vessel, but you can create this vessel, and the water that comes in, the energy is held in the waters, your waters, the emotions. So if your water is boiling, if you're boiling in your waters and your emotions, then it's going to come out in your vessel. Now, there's ways to transmute that anger and release it inside your body as it gives you energy to manifest. You transmute those energies. Instead of you blowing your top and exploding, you transmute that energy into something that benefits you. Into a craft, into a art, into an expression of you. It could be gardening, because you're releasing that anger and you're connecting with nature. It's not that your anger is not going inside the plant. See, it's not like cooking, because you're solidifying water inside substance and fortifying it with different energies, and you're cooking. It'll translate into that, but you can instill love in cooking. Your grandmother did or does. Your mother did or does. That love into that cooking, and that's why it tastes so good. Same thing with plants, and you can punch a punching bag with anger, and it's going to release it. All that anger will be released inside that bag. It's going to absorb it, instead of someone else absorbing your anger in terms of your words. You don't throw it to somebody else, your angry words, because it's being absorbed back into you, actually, because they're going to reflect anger back at you, or hostility, or some kind of state of being in their heart of anger towards you, and it's going to eat at your auras. So you start getting that energy from within instead of from without. You define yourself. Does the outside world define you, or do you define the outside world based on yourself? When you control your inner world, the outer world will match that vibration. You'll start controlling the outer world, like literally controlling it. But things manifest to the ego, to that physical self, as a byproduct, and it's like, wow, it's like things are happening in a way that I couldn't imagine. And it all started by moving to Pasadena, and I remember going to the South Pasadena. There's a coffee. I mean, not a coffee, but um, a cigar lounge, very small cigar, lounge, and the people I met there, my gosh, at the top of that game in the Matrix, controllers, creators of reality, and I saw them in their element, smoking a cigar, having a cognac. The president of Sony, and then we see Judge Ito come by and just quietly come and get a cigar and leave, and then watching that American Crime Story about the O.J. Simpson story. It just brought back a lot of memories when I was in high school, remembering how the country was so divided. The people, basically black people, thought O.J. was innocent, and most of the white people thought he was guilty. And if they had friends that were black, they were like in the middle, divided, and it was a really tense kind of situation. I remember in high school, it was tense. I went to an all-white high school, and the people that were for OJ were like, it was all white high school, so the white people that were for OJ were more of like the burnout crowd and the rebels and those kind of people, and the ones that were against him, they were like the very rural kind of Americans, and it all plays into your reality, and it's just amazing seeing that documentary basically enacted by amazing actors, and seeing even like the Kardashian guy, like Kardashians became famous because of Robert Kardashian. He was friend of OJ, and you know how they don't tout that, because the just like in the show, the wife, I don't know her name, whatever, Kardashian mom, she was totally knowing that he was guilty, and he murdered Nicole, one of her best friends, and basically like after, I believe Robert Kardashian died from the guilt. Like, this guy was very in tune with reality, and he that to his children. Like, you have to understand this reality. You can control it. And look at them. They're famous, right? They have their own reality. It's literally their reality. And you know what? By you watching their shows, you are putting your energy to their reality. I'm not saying it's bad or good. It's just that when you see it for what it is, you can build your own reality. You start building your own reality. And to be here in Pasadena and go by, like, I went by that mansion, a few times, during my 13 years here in Southern California, and seeing him, Judge Ito, at the and I remember him walking in, and everybody was like, oh yeah, he's kind of like, he's exactly, he was sucked into that star-studded situation too, And knowing the police department, because I was a cop, and understanding, like, it is possible that people can plant evidence on somebody, but it could be also possible that, we know that he did this. We know that OJ did this from his history. He did this. Let's solidify this case by putting this glove here, because it's going to be a lot easier. Like, make it a slam dunk. We know it's him. Let's not make it into a shadow of a doubt. And basically, Robert Shapiro was in it for himself until later on. He kind of like was like, what, it is about, he basically, I don't know what's going on with Robert Shapiro, but who really won was Cochran. Read it the whole entire time. He was just tapping into intuition and that divine intuition. I'm telling you, it's all Kabbalistic. It is all metaphysical, spiritual. Because all, past science, past physics is metaphysics, and it's just magic, man. It's just, if 1,000 people believe and really believe that, a placebo can cure them. A placebo cures people. 30% placebo. The power of belief. You can change your body chemistry from the hormones you emit. And imagine you do it just a little bit every day. You control your anger. You release your anger into positive things, and you practice mindfulness and really seeing and your thoughts and your reactions and how they hem you up. If you do that just a little bit every day, you'll change your life. Change your life. That's shaping your vessel, my friends. That's chiseling and your muscles will grow to that. Your urges will be urges that match that frequency and vision within. So you'll never have urges to eat junk food, and the healthy choice will appear. It'll be easier because you're collapsing that wave. You're shaping the vessel, which is you, which is out there, reflected out in the physical. It's all happening in your mind. Expand your mind, you expand your brain's capability of holding higher consciousness, basically. Okay, everyone, thank you for listening, and until next time. Well, one more thing. The thing about Pasadena is that the Caltech, right? Yeah, Caltech is a prestigious physics, mathematics school, and Peterson, I believe, developed technology at Caltech here, the father of rockets, right here in Pasadena. And the interesting fact about him is that he dreamed that entities told him the blueprint, and he was just a vessel. He's just a vessel for higher dimensional information, because he was subtle enough to understand that, and you can tap into higher consciousness. Bridge is the mind, is the brain, is the mind. You get to build a bridge in the mind to the higher dimension. But it's like a stepping system. Third dimension is the physical. If you're caught in the physical, you can't get pulling you from a higher dimension. It's like a magnet. Okay, everyone, take care. Peace.